16-year-old Micaela Costanzo was an outstanding girl. She was beautiful and she was popular. She excelled in school and she shone on the high school basketball team. She was also a local track star and she had a really strong bond with her mum and her sisters. So Michaela, she made sure to keep in touch with them throughout the day on a regular basis through text message, especially if her schedule was changing. So on March the 3rd, 2011, when Michaela, or Mickey, like everyone called her, failed to text her mum after school or answer her phone, it was clear that something was very wrong. Because this girl, she always kept in touch with her family. Hello and welcome to my channel and my podcast, Kate Sharon True Crime. My name is Kate and here I talk about true crime, mysteries, history and anything that interests me. Please remember to show your support by liking this video, subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell so that you never miss out on any of my future videos. I finally got a new microphone. Look at her. Isn't she pretty? I'm so excited. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just happy because before I had that tiny little microphone that was attached. Now I've got like a proper one. Yeah, I'm excited. So thank you for being here with me. Make sure to get cozy. It's not a very long story, but you know, still get cozy. Grab a snack. Let's dive into another true crime story. Oh, also I'm not using my chair today. I've got the swivel chair because the other chair is way down there and it's heavy. I got to get someone else to get it for me. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the brutal killing of Micaela Costanzo. Micaela, oh my god, she was a wonderful 16-year-old girl with a passion for sports. Micaela also had a deep affection for her boyfriend and a very strong bond with her older sister, who shared quite a few mutual friends with her. So each day, after the final school bell rang, Micaela eagerly headed to the track for an intense practice session. She loved to run. She was really good at it as well. So following the workout, her reliable older sister ensured they both made it home safely, cherishing these moments as an opportunity for them to catch up on each other's lives and their days. So on March the 3rd, 2011, Micaela's older sister, who usually picked her up, had prior arrangements and she wasn't able to pick Micaela up that day. But that was totally fine. It's all good. They didn't live too far away and Micaela didn't see it as a big deal. And she decided that, you know what, I'll just walk home. She's a runner. She can walk. It's like, what, 20 minutes? So fresh air, it's good for you. It's good for you, right? The walk home was about a mile long, which most people can walk in just under half an hour. But this is Micaela. Like, she would have got home like way quicker. But the thing is that Micaela, she never made it home that day. Micaela's mum, she got quite worried after she hadn't shown up home and she decided to give her daughter a call. Sometimes teenagers, they can get a little bit sidetracked, you know. I've got a 17-year-old daughter and she tends to not text back. Yeah. My 17-year-old daughter, oh my god, I'm constantly worried about where she is. My daughter's a hip-hop dancer, completely opposite to me. I'm a metalhead. And yeah, she goes to all these practices and competitions and stuff, and she could be out like really late, and it is quite scary. And it's aged me tremendously. But anyway, back to Micaela. So her mum called her cell phone, and unfortunately, Micaela was not picking up. So the first time she called, it seemed that she had ignored the call because it went straight to voicemail. Like, you know, she get called out and then like she was hung up on. She tried again and it just rang out. No one ever picked up. So this shows us that someone clearly touched her phone to be able to decline the call, right? But who? I can't see it being Micaela. She was a good kid. Why would she ignore her mum's calls? The entire town had jumped into action to help search for Micaela. She wasn't the sort of kid to just not show up home. She stuck to her schedule. She was organized. They combed every inch of the area in hopes of finding her. And after an intensive search, a few members of the search party, they stumbled upon tire tracks that led down to an old dirt road that eventually led to a gravel pit. They followed the trail, and that's when they discovered some sagebrush. It was covered in blood. We can all see where this is going. Then their hearts dropped as they saw Micaela's lifeless body. She was in a really bad way, and it was clear that her death had not been an accident. Micaela had been viciously attacked. She had been beaten and she'd been stabbed over and over to her face and her neck. That is a crime of passion, or we'll go into it a bit later. It is truly heartbreaking to know that her final moments would have been so terrifying and so painful. Also, a plastic tie was discovered tightly secured around one of Micaela's arms, implying that she had been forcibly brought to the location where she was found. So this prompted the investigators to turn to the school's surveillance cameras. They were looking to see what Micaela's last steps were. Then, investigators, they uncovered phone calls and also text messages. They were exchanged between Micaela and a boy called Cody Patton, right from Micaela's phone. So they're like, who is this Cody? So they started to consider him as a person of interest in this case because he happened to be one of the very last people that she had been in contact with. Furthermore, surveillance footage from the school captured Micaela and Cody in the hallway leading to the exit from which she vanished just moments later. So, what's going on? What is going on, Cody? The police, they caught up with him and they took him in for questioning. He initially told the police that he had seen Micaela with her boyfriend at the front of the school during his first interview with the police. However, everyone else from the school who were also interviewed said that Micaela was actually at the back of the building. So why is Cody lying to police? It looks really bad. Really, really, really bad. Like, you don't need to make up stories if you're telling the truth, right? An innocent person doesn't need to make up stories. So clearly there is something going on here. Micaela and Cody, they had actually known each other for a really, really long time, like since they were little, and they maintained their friendship as they grew older. But they pursued different social circles. So Micaela was more of a, a sweet, nice girl, and Cody was a bit of a bad boy. Also, Cody was a couple of years older than Micaela, and he had a girlfriend. Her name was Toni Fratto, a popular and devout Mormon girl who shared similar social standing with Micaela at school. Basically, she was also very liked and really popular at school. Toni, she was so in love with Cody. She was like head over heels. But is it really love when you're a teenager? I don't know. Possibly. I don't know. She was also really committed to supporting him while he was going through some ups and downs. So she was really supportive of his dreams. He wanted to join the Marines, and she really wanted him to join the Marines, and she wanted to help get him there. So after being together for quite a bit of time, Cody and Toni, I know I struggle to say that, Cody and Toni realized that they wanted to spend their entire lives together, and they decided that they were going to get engaged. They were still teenagers. She was young. She's younger than him. So she's like 16, 17. He was approaching 18. But apparently they knew what they wanted. Cody even embraced the Mormon faith so that they could have a wedding in the temple. Cody was a really tall guy as well, like super tall. standing at 6 feet 8 inches, and he had a quick temper, both at home and at school. This size of him, mixed with his anger issues, would be pretty darn intimidating to the other kids at school. Like, he's a giant. I have really tall brothers. Like, my brothers are like 6'4", 6'3", but this guy, 6'8". That is so tall, basketball material. Then, after a big fight with his dad, Cody moved in with Tony and her family. So Tony's parents, they had mixed feelings about Cody staying with them. They didn't really want him to. They were mostly worried about their daughter, who they knew was deeply in love with him. They were also concerned that Tony might leave home to go and be with Cody if they didn't let him stay there, which is highly possible. A teenage girl in love or thinks she's in love, she'll follow her heart. So ultimately, her parents, they decided to let him move in to make sure that they could keep an eye on their daughter and him. You know, I'm not sure I would let my 17-year-old daughter's boyfriend move in, but yeah. My daughter has a really strong mind, though. She wouldn't just follow a dude. She would do what's right for her. But yeah, anyway, I have younger children at home, so I wouldn't want, this whole teenage love thing going on under my roof. No. That's my choice. Anyway, over time, Tony's parents, they actually grew to like Cody, and they started to think of him as part of their family. But the thing was, Tony is a teenager, and sometimes teenage girls are insecure, especially if their boyfriend is like best mates with a pretty and popular girl like Micaela. So Tony actually felt really unsure about her relationship with Cody, and she wasn't comfortable with how close he and Micaela were. I get it. I think we all could see that coming, right? Being a teenager can be a roller coaster all on its own. Different emotions running around. It's a challenging time. It can also be really fun, but it can also be really challenging. I mean, they are still learning and they're figuring themselves out. Probably not the right time to get engaged because of all the growing we do at that age, but yeah, they do what they do. Anyway, Tony, she used to write in her diary about her worries and her feelings towards Cody and Micaela. She would write some pretty horrific stuff as well. She thought her boyfriend had feelings for Micaela and that he might even leave her for the girl that he'd grown up with. But the thing is, Micaela and Cody, it wasn't like that. They didn't have romantic feelings for each other. They were just friends. You can be friends with a guy. It's possible. Anyway. I guess it's normal to overthink things when you're young. I felt insecure as a teenager as well, so I totally get that. Cody was also using Tony's insecurities to purposely upset her for his own amusement, which was really mean and really immature. But also, they're freaking teenagers. He's gonna make jokes about stuff because that's what they do at that age. You would think that he would try to comfort her and reassure her that he wants to be with her and not Micaela, but no, because he's young, and that's what immature young people do, right? They crack jokes. It's pretty sad, but it is what it is. He would actually engineer situations that he knew would upset Tony, like he would talk and text to Micaela right in front of Tony just to piss her off. Apparently, Tony also verbally insulted Micaela for months, even though Micaela hadn't done anything wrong and just wanted to be left alone. She didn't want the drama. Micaela even told Tony that she had a boyfriend and she was not interested in Cody that way. They were just friends. But Tony, she didn't believe Micaela, and she had it in her head that she was out to steal her man and ruin her relationship. She wasn't. It was clear that Tony was not listening to Micaela at all. Micaela had no interest in Cody and already had a boyfriend that she really, really cared for. Okay, so back to the police interview with Cody. So he's sitting in the police station. He's being interviewed. Once Cody was established as the primary person of interest in this case, the police asked him to come in for another interview. And before long, he broke down. Yep, he sang like a canary. Truth, some half-truths. He had a bit of encouragement from his dad, so he told his dad what had happened, and his dad said, you need to go and turn yourself in. So Cody went in to tell the police that he and Micaela had gone for a drive. Apparently they'd gone out to a place called the Gravel Pit after school, and apparently they began to argue. Cody told the police that she told him to break up with Tony, end the engagement, leave her, and be with me instead, which he said that he refused to do. I don't believe that. No. He said that the argument turned physical at that point. So basically when he said, no, I don't want to be with you, she apparently got physical, and apparently Micaela started to hit him in his chest. He said that to protect himself, he pushed her away, and when he pushed her, she fell and hit her head. Remember, this is just his version of the story. He said that when she hit her head, she went into convulsions. So kind of like seizure. My daughter is epileptic, and it is terrifying to witness a seizure. Is anyone else calling bullshit on his story? Let me know in the comment section below. So he said that he was scared and that panic set in. So he reckoned that he didn't know what to do. He was, frazzled and scared. That's when he told the investigators that instead of helping Micaela, he instead hit her over the head with a shovel. What? My instant thought is, why does this kid have a shovel on hand? In my opinion, one does not tend to randomly have a shovel on hand, especially when they are randomly out and about with a friend. Who carries a shovel? I guess gardeners, but he's not a gardener. Unless said person is full of shit and he brought the shovel to bury her? Yeah, that sounds more legit to me. Anyway, back to Cody's story. Cody's, I reckon, half-truth story. So at this point, he doesn't know what to do. He's just smacked her in the head with the shovel. Micaela was convulsing, and yeah, so now she's been hit. So, it's really annoying. If your friend has an accident, or if you accidentally, push your friend and they fall and they hit their head and they start convulsing, wouldn't you take said friend who you have known forever, may I add, to the hospital? Who the hell hits their friend in the head? Someone that you have known for a long time. What? No, you help them. Okay, so he said that after she was hit, she was still making some sounds. Yeah, it's... So he slashed her throat to get her to stop making said sounds. What the hell is wrong with this kid? So he had a shovel, and now he has a knife on hand? What the F? That's meant to be his close friend. A really close friend. If it was truly an accident and she fell when he was trying to protect himself, like he said, he could have easily taken her to the hospital, explained the situation and got a slap on the wrist. She probably would have got into trouble. They could have saved her, if she was the aggressor. But no. Instead, he goes and makes things a million times worse. This is when he told the police that Micaela had died and that he buried her in a shallow grave and tried to burn her personal belongings. He is a little shite. He is a monster. But the thing is, Micaela was found severely stabbed and beaten multiple times, a lot. She didn't just have, a couple of wounds from the initial fall and, being hit with a shovel and being cut with a knife. No. No, this girl, she was brutally killed. She was put through hell. His story, it just does not ring true. So what is the real story? At this point in his confession, Cody is put under arrest and he is charged with first-degree murder with the possibility of a death sentence. He was scared and he hired an attorney called John Olson. He's apparently really well known. He is real good at keeping killers off death row. So Tony, she found out pretty quick about what was going on with her partner, and she was shocked to find out that Cody had been arrested. She was really upset, and she tried to support him by visiting him and writing to him and calling him quite a lot. She kept telling him that she missed him and reassured him that she would always be there for him. Okay. So at this point of my research, when I was looking at, reading about this story, I wondered why she would stand by someone who had just committed this type of crime, because it is ruthless, unless she was possibly involved. I did believe at this point of my research that the story was bogus and she had something to do with it. I feel like it's half-truths. I don't feel like Cody's telling the full truth. I do like to put myself in the shoes of the people I talk about as well. It sort of helps me understand the story a bit better, and I can't comprehend why Tony would stay with him after learning of how brutal Micaela's death was, unless there is more to it. I know people do stay with their partners after they commit crimes, but something about this one, when I was doing my research before I knew, what happens, it just did not feel right, Anyway, in April of 2011, while her parents were out of town, Tony, wearing her pajamas, went to Cody's lawyer's office, and she was accompanied by Cody's dad. There, she recorded a different version of Micaela's death that Cody had previously described. So another story. Tony said that after school, on the day that Micaela was killed, she got a text message from Cody, and this text message said, "I've got her." And to Tony, that meant that Micaela was in the car that Cody had actually borrowed that day, and that he was coming to pick up Tony. So the three of them then went to the gravel pits. Remember, this is Tony's account and probably not, truthful. So just, don't take it as fact. So she goes on to say that Micaela and Cody got out of the vehicle when they got to the gravel pit. Micaela apparently started yelling at Cody and she pushed him. Tony said that she looked away but heard a loud noise, and that's when she got out of the car to see what was going on. Now, why would Cody and Micaela get out of the car and Tony stay in the car? That part sounds like a lie. If she really is as insecure as we assume she is, and how she, when she writes in her diary, it screams out insecurities, then you would think that she would want to be out there with them, to keep an eye on her man, right? If she thinks that they're, in love with each other. So I put myself into the shoes of Tony as an insecure teenager who thinks her boyfriend loves Micaela. And I can't see her letting them have that private time while she apparently turns her head and looks the other way. No. It just does not ring true to me. What do you guys think? Am I just looking too much into this? Or no, when you're insecure and jealous, you're not going to let your guy get out of the car with the girl that you're jealous of and have alone time. Anyway, Tony said that Micaela was laying on the ground and that she wasn't moving, and that Cody began to dig a grave, and that by the time he was finished, Micaela was in and out of consciousness. Poor Micaela. So Tony said that it was then that her and Cody started to punch, kick, and hit poor Micaela. When she stopped moving, they put her in the grave, and that's when they took turns at slitting her throat. Tony also admitted to sitting on Micaela's legs to hold her down during the attack. During Tony's confession, because the lawyer was Cody's lawyer and not hers, this meant that he had no restrictions with client confidentiality. This distinction is significant because attorney-client privilege only applies to the lawyer's interactions with their own clients. He didn't have to be loyal to her. So as a result, the lawyer was not legally bound to keep Tony's confession confidential. And when Tony left, he handed the tape over to the police. See, he was recording her. Following this, Tony, who had not previously been a suspect, was subsequently arrested. She was formally charged and detained without the option of posting bail. So both Cody and Tony were given deals to admit guilt in court in exchange for a lesser punishment. Cody initially said yes, that he would take the deal, but later he decided against it. Tony, on the other hand, she agreed to admit guilt for a lesser charge of second-degree murder and promised to provide information against the man that she once promised to, protect forever, to be there for him and to love forever. Tony's story to the police was different from what she told Cody's lawyer, though. This time, she said that Cody was really mad at Micaela, and when Tony hopped into the SUV that Cody was borrowing, she claimed that she saw Micaela in the back seat while Cody's in the front seat driving, which is strange, looking really scared, and apparently she had her hands up to her face. That's when Cody apparently sent Tony a text. So they're all three of them in the car, and he texts Tony, while she's next to him. And in this text it says, "We have to kill her." So Tony said that when they got to the gravel pits, he ordered her to stand guard. Tony told the police that Cody dug the grave and told her to hit Micaela. But apparently she refused to hit Micaela. I'm not sure if I believe that at all. These two have already proven that they lie. They chuck in little lies. She said that Cody then began to punch Micaela and told her to hit her with a shovel. Tony said that's when she hit Micaela with the shovel in her shoulder and that Cody hit her in her head. So from what I'm observing here is that Tony is trying to make it seem like she did a lesser brutal hit than Cody. She's like, "Oh, I just hit her in the shoulder. It's not that bad." These kids, man. Basically, she's diverting the blame. She probably did hit Micaela in her head. This is when Tony apparently held Micaela's legs down and they took her life. Tony said that during the attack, Micaela looked up at Cody, her, really close friend, and she asked him if she was still alive and if she could go home. That is so freaking heartbreaking. That's the kind of shit that makes me freaking cry. But I said to myself, I'm not going to cry during this video because I always cry. Then in April of 2012, she was 19 years old, and she pled guilty to murder involving a deadly weapon that resulted in the death of Micaela Costanzo. Tony was given a life sentence with the chance of being released on parole after 18 years. So by August of 2018, Tony was serving her sentence at the Florence McClure Women's Correctional Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. In 2021, her request to be released on parole, it was actually turned down. Good. We do not need a person like her running around. Also, during the discussion about reaching a compromise for a plea deal, Cody provided a different account. Again, the story changes all the time. So he had a different account of what happened on the day that Micaela was killed. He mentioned that Tony had confronted Micaela at school and insulted her, which actually sounds about right. It does sound like that could be true. Tony actually called Micaela a slut, and other kids have said that, she did bully her. According to Cody, he suggested that Tony and Micaela should, meet up and resolve their issues. I don't know if I believe that. Tony apparently wanted to fight Micaela, and Micaela agreed to it. However, Cody's lawyer advised him to reject the plea before he could finish explaining this version of events. So I'm going to assume there are elements of truth and lies to all of the stories. Why would Micaela agree to fight, though? I can't say it. From everything that I have read, Micaela wasn't that sort of person. Yeah. In May of 2012, Cody Patton agreed to plead guilty to first-degree murder to avoid the death penalty. As part of the pre-sentence report, Cody wrote a letter to the judge denying that he had actually been the one who killed Micaela. He put all the blame on, the woman that he claimed to love. He said Tony did it, saying that she was the one who slit Micaela's throat. But the judge, he wasn't buying it. Neither do I. I believe that both of them did it. He sentenced Cody to life, and he said to him, "Your blood runs cold, Mr. Patton." It does. This is your friend. Who needs enemies when you got friends like that, honestly? And there is no possibility of parole for Cody. Good. He has since been incarcerated in Ely State Prison in White Pine County, Nevada. After sentencing, Tony had some time to think. So she's sitting there in her prison cell, 19 years old, and she's thinking about what she'd done. She's thinking about her situation. And again, her story changed. Again. When the stories keep on changing, it makes you question them, right? She told a slightly different version of the story during an interview with Dateline NBC's Keith Morrison. She claimed that she had suffered from abuse and manipulation by Cody for most of their relationship. She said that Cody forced her to take part in killing Micaela. I don't believe that for a second. I believe she was just as involved. Tony also mentioned that after witnessing Cody assault Micaela, she was afraid for her life and felt like she had no choice but to do what he wanted. It seems unlikely that we will ever uncover the complete truth of what exactly happened, because these two, they will not tell the truth. And even if they do, we won't believe them because they keep lying. I feel we have bits of the truth that, we can put together. I just hope that Micaela's family can draw solace from the knowledge that Micaela is no longer suffering and that those responsible for her tragic death are in jail. This brings us to the end of today's story. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think happened? I have an idea. I might put it in the comment section as well. Please remember to hit the like button, turn on the notifications button, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of my videos. I am loving my new microphone. Oh my god. Also, if you're listening via my podcast and would like to see the video, you can find me on YouTube. My name on YouTube is Kate Sharon True Crime. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me. And yeah, if you caught my video about my alcoholism, thank you for the support. That was honestly the hardest video I have ever done in my life. And I've spoken about bloody Jeffrey Dahmer. I know I always bring up Dahmer. That's my go-to. Because that case, it nearly ruined me. But yeah. Thank you so much for the support, guys. You're amazing. Yeah. Also, with the Jeffrey Dahmer story, I know I just said, I always bring up Jeffrey Dahmer, but with the Jeffrey Dahmer story, all the money that I make from that video will be going to Milwaukee Crime Stoppers. So please head over to my Jeffrey Dahmer story, not the podcast, not the short, the actual story, which is just over an hour long, and watch it. Because if you watch the video, I earn like some money, and that will go to Milwaukee Crime Stoppers. And yeah, that is me for today. I love my new microphone. I am so happy, and I got my swivel chair. I know I have that like awesome Goldie chair, but it's down that end of the house. Well, I'm actually downstairs. It is down that end of the downstairs house. This is like a granny flat down here. So yeah, it's down there, and there's a hallway, and it's a very thin hallway, and I kind of need two people to help me lift it. Otherwise, I'll rip it again. I know, I said again. I ripped it when I took it down there the first time. So sad, but yeah. Anyway, that's me. I hope you guys have a wonderful morning, day, night, and I will be talking to you later with another true crime story. Bye! New microphone! Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. What do you guys think of the audio? Is it good? Let me know.